Hi, everybody. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and it is a day of all my friends here and having a great
Yay.
conversation. Come on in and join us. Hello, Myra J.
Hello, everyone out there in out there land.
Okay, out there, land. Yeah, we are out there. You're right. And Kwyn, Townsend, Riley, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
All good. And look at you looking all what is that? Shy? Is it looking coy? Is it looking, just can't hold your head up, Stephen Hill? What are you doing there?
I'm just sometimes when I get like this, I'm just extremely happy. First of all,
Oh.
good evening, everybody. And even though our ancestors fought very hard for us to not say this,
Hmm.
um, in some ways, our ancestors fought for us to say this. And what I mean by that is, I cannot wait to call Kwyn master. I know we're not supposed to call people master anymore, but I'll be perfectly happy to call Kwyn master.
Quinn
Maggie, me
informed
too.
us
Yeah.
on social
Yeah.
media today that she will be receiving her master's in the spring,
Yes.
and it will be a first in her family, and we are very
Mhm.
happy and pleased for her. And that is the
Mhm.
reference to which Stephen Hill has made.
Yeah.
Congratulations. So,
Thank
are
you.
you done for the semester?
Yes. Finals week is next week. So everything now is just like turning in the final papers. I have like a log that I have to turn in. But then after that, it's just like programming. Lots of open mics, new initiate presentations this week. But yeah, I'm really excited for Black History Month on Western's campus, though. That's my main thing. I'm excited to program, so that'd be good. Is he on the phone? He's on the phone. Oh, your mom?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So we can we go ahead with the conversation, Stephen Hill, and while you talk
Oh,
to
he
mom,
muted.
you got to talk to your
Okay.
mother. You got to talk to your mom. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Myra, what's going on with you? We'll talk about what's going on politically in your city. But what's going on with you? How you had a good week?
I had a good week. I had a great Thanksgiving. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, my car acted a fool, but we shan't go there because I'm driving a loaner car right now with only 5,000 miles on it. So I'm trying to pretend like I'm popping my collar in a new car.
Okay. Okay. There's nothing like that new car feeling.
I know, I know,
Mhm.
I
I
know.
know. The fever is different than the feeling because fever is you're like, look at that car, look at that car.
Mhm.
But the feeling when you're driving a new car,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
fresh car smell and all that kind of good
yeah,
stuff.
but and I already know that this is like my Cinderella car because it's just a loaner, and that at any moment that phone gonna ring and they gonna be, bring that car,
Bring.
bring that car back, come back here and get this hoopty that's been sitting up here for 3 days.
We're waiting,
Yeah,
and you got to pay a bill on it too. So
Mhm.
you just hold off on that. Hold off on that.
yeah.
Stephen Hill, what's going on with you?
I'm good. I'm actually in the green room as my fiance has a show in Washington D.C. tonight. It's funny. So that I could do this, I came here a little bit early. She will come in the door in a moment. I will have to go off screen for a moment and relocate, but I want to make sure I was on time this time, Yolanda.
Yeah.
So so yeah. So I'm good. She had a great show here last night. It was
Where was
spectacular.
that
Yes,
show?
right.
So,
A
Hold
city
on.
winery in Washington D.C.
oh,
I
that's
posted
a
some of
great
it on my
spot.
IG.
She
Uh,
sounded beautiful.
I am just I'm thoroughly amazed by my fiance all the time, all the
And your
time.
Oh.
fiance, for those who are just tuning in, is the world shattering chanteuse,
Chanteuse,
Shantae
chanteuse.
Moore.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
yes.
want to
So,
go.
It's a beautiful.
congratulations.
Yeah.
She looked incredible. She looked as
Yes.
great as she sounded, and
Mhm.
so
And
we
that's saying
wish.
a lot. That's saying a lot because she sounds amazing. All right, I'm gonna shut up now.
Yeah.
And everything looked great until some guy just stood up in front of you.
You can't be mad when some dude's gonna stand up and give your girl a standing ovation. Like I'm like, I know you blocked the shot, but she deserved what she did, so I can't even
Yeah.
complain.
Oh, that was very
I can't
nice of
complain.
you. That was very nice of you. So, very good, very good. All right, y'all. So let's talk about what's going on in the world, and sadly, the news that we start off with, in terms of topical, is the murder of Jacqueline Avant, the wife of Clarence Avant, the legendary music executive, killed in what is now being called or presumed to be a home invasion. A burglary was attempted overnight, they say somewhere around the 2 o'clock hour, in their home in Beverly Hills. This was the home that Mrs. Avant shared with her husband of 54 years, the godfather of black music, Clarence Avant. And I know that this is particularly difficult for a lot of people in the industry. And Stephen Hill, you are one of them.
It is the reason I have a sad face on this otherwise happy day on as my icon tonight. Clarence, just one of the nicest, helpful. The whole thing about Avant Clarence is that he helps whoever he can get to wherever they want to go,
Mm-hmm.
and that is why he has a Netflix documentary about him. And he and his wife have been together Jackie had been together for so long, and all of that is true. None of that matters. The fact that someone came into the home and thought the idea of shooting an octogenarian was the right thing to do in any circumstance
Mm-hmm.
is the real challenge, right?
Yeah.
It's the real challenge is how little regard people have for life overall. We've seen it in Chicago for a while, to be honest, and people thought it was going to be contained there. And I think people are seeing, especially after COVID, that there's more and more brazen activity, some of it involving murder, coming out of this. So it is all sad and horrible. It would be sad and horrible if it was someone else's mother or someone else. It's
Sure.
the fact that someone we know is especially gripping, but the actions behind this are horrific, and I pray that we are headed towards an ending of them.
They say that the uptick in home burglaries has quickened of late, has advanced the pace, and this is another one. I was watching LA News, and they were saying that in that neighborhood, people have been reporting a lot of home invasions, as they're calling them, even when people are in the home. Like one woman reported she was taking a shower and someone broke into her home. These are daylight events as well, not necessarily those at night. And everyone to a person not only talks about the brilliance and the leadership of Clarence Avant, but his partner in life,
Hmm.
Mrs. Jacqueline Avant. And so it's a very sad day. They said that they got a report of a shooting around 2:20 this morning, and they arrived to find the Mrs. Avant suffering from a gunshot wound. She was taken to a local hospital, and they said when she was taken to the hospital, she was conscious. And on the ride, I guess, or by the time they got to the hospital, they notified them that she did not survive. Nobody on the scene when the officers arrived, and no description was available of the suspects as of this afternoon. And the police are really being very quiet about this in terms of what may have happened. So we just I mean, and everyone to a person in, as I said, just talked about the two of them together, but also just sending out their love and prayers to the family. You mentioned the Black Godfather documentary on Netflix. His daughter, their daughter, is married to the head of Netflix, and they produced this incredible documentary called The Black Godfather
Yeah. And
about
the
Mr.
daughter was
Avon.
was the former ambassador to the
So
Bahamas.
to Bahamas.
Bahamas.
Yep, yep. They were quite connected to the to political circles, including the Obama administration as well as the Clintons. So, as well as she was just a woman of the neighborhoods too, because
Mhm.
she was deeply involved in the black neighborhoods in Los Angeles, and never forgot the people who were there and doing so much to help them.
There, there are
Also,
just
yes, ma'am.
there are certain cases where I really think when they know we have the person, I am all for a speedy trial. Speedy
Hmm.
trial. Let's do it. Let's get it. Let's not waste our time and taxpayer dollars. Do it. Get it over with. And next.
You gotta think
Well,
so.
they got to find him. Apparently, they don't have that person yet. But
Mhm.
here's a case in Michigan where they have the person. Let's see how speedy this trial is with this 15-year-old kid who took an automatic weapon to school that his father had just purchased on Black Friday, and killed. And it's now four deaths that have been confirmed in this case. He has been arraigned and identified, and he is a 15-year-old boy, and has been and saying that he has not been talking to authorities because when you're a minor, you need your parents' permission, and the parents have not given the police permission to talk to him and to make any progress. But they didn't need that apparently, and so they have charged him. I know three, and the fourth death was announced this afternoon. So, and once again, this is a case where people are going, how do you say goodbye to your child leaving out for school that day and them not come home that night? And these were 14 to 17-year-old students. Um, it just boggles the mind. And to see these kids um, who were just huddled in classrooms and didn't know. I mean, they heard a knocking on the door of one of the classrooms and they said it was the sheriff. And when he said bro, they didn't believe him. They said red flag. And these kids just hurled themselves out of a window to get away from this.
Mm-hmm.
And you go in to see people in Congress today talking about this and have the nerve to say, this is something that should never happen. And yet you are allowing guns to just take
They do
such a
nothing.
place in our lives that
They do
when
nothing.
they murder 20 something children and teachers, babies, when they murder teenagers,
Mm-hmm.
still your babies.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't make any sense.
Not at all. Not at all. Look, since we're, and the Supreme Court is going to talk about Roe versus
And
Wade.
then there's that.
If they can turn around and make it like, okay, we'll allow abortions prenatal, but can we do postnatal abortions? Like, can we get this dude in Michigan as a postnatal abortion?
Oof.
Like, is that the way we can handle it? Just like, well, look, now he didn't turn out the way we wanted to. Just turn him. It's unbelievable. And they say the guy had no previous challenges, but went to his social media, went to his journal, went to his phone, talking about like, yep, I'm gonna kill some people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill some people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill some people.
He had
And say, I had no idea. Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm.
And if kids were saying that this was being talked about and this was on his social media, where is the work to get some help for this child to avoid the murders of somebody else's child?
Okay, playing the other side of that, I think everything should be checked into, but I think the number of people who say it to vent versus the people who say it to actually do it, it's got to be 1,000, 10,000 to 1.
To 1, yeah.
And so it's kind of that needle in a haystack, but then the needle all of a sudden pricks you, and it's a challenge,
and it's a problem.
And this is another case where, quote unquote, if he's the minor and his parents have to be there, that means so the parents are responsible for him. Therefore, the parents are responsible for this child getting access to a loaded weapon and bringing it to school.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, the parents should be put on trial. I'm tired of these parents walking away willy-nilly, and then they'll say, oh, he had mental health problems. Hell, a whole bunch of us got mental health problems. We don't run around shooting up people. So take the whole damn family, get them a damn Groupon, put all 3 of them in jail. I don't give a shit how they do it. All of them gotta go.
Whatever it takes. Yep. Whatever it takes. So on a happier note, as they've been saluting all day on social media, shouting it out, Atlanta has a mayor named Keisha, and now they got one coming up named Dre.
Dre. That's right. That's it all over social media. Yes, this is a black city. We went from Kasim to Keisha to Dre. That's how we do it here in the Dirty Dirty.
So, Andre Dickens won in the runoff on Tuesday night, and now the people have spoken. He really defeated the city council president Felicia Moore with 64% of the vote, and it was quite a walloping. He won. The campaign dominated over the concern over violence in that city, as most I was going to say most big city mayors are confronting, but it's the small cities too. And they said he's saying he would like to be more effective than Moore, who had been sometimes a lonely critic of previous mayors in her 20 years. And she had been the leading candidate in this, but folks made that turnaround. And he just had hundreds of people, including Mayor Keisha, there, and saying that the work starts now for the 47-year-old Atlanta native.
Mhm.
Mm.
And even though I don't vote for the Atlanta mayor because I live outside of the city limits, but I will say this, and I didn't see the final number count. I was very disappointed to
Yeah.
see the turnout when they declared he was the winner. It was like, I think less than 90,000 people had voted.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 90,000 people. They said the turnout was so light. So once again, I hope he does a great job, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever he does, don't let me hear the people complaining if you didn't vote. I
Right.
cannot believe the low turnout. It was horrible.
And in Georgia, in Atlanta, that made such a big difference and changed the whole trajectory of the 2020 elections. You would think that they would be, in the voting spirit, in the mode, but apparently not.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I would have voted for you, Dre.
Me too. Me too.
So it's good on him,
You're
but
muted.
Yeah.
I'm
Lost
sorry.
track. Sorry, I lost track. So where did Kasim Reed drop off? I know he was originally in. Where did he get defeated?
He got
He was
defeated in the
third.
first round,
Yeah.
the early November elections, because there was like 14 people
Right.
in that, and he
He was
he
number
did
three.
not do well in that at all.
Oh, he's number
Well,
three.
no, actually, it was very close between him and Andre Dickens, and it was I'm pretty
Oh,
sure it was less than 100 votes
so
between.
when I said that he didn't do well, he was expected.
Oh yeah,
So that's what,
Right.
yeah, that's what I'm referring to. But you're absolutely right. And there was a slim margin
Wow.
between Kasim and Dre.
yeah,
100 votes. Wow. Okay. All right.
yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
Good enough.
yeah.
All right.
So in a case like that, wouldn't you think that people would still get in there and vote when you think about the difference that 100 votes could make? That
Mhm.
people would go out and vote, or were those people that were supporting Kasim Reed and all the others who did not make it into the runoff? They just decided, oh, the hell with it.
What did and happened though? Most of the other 11 candidates,
Hmm.
most of them got behind Andre Dickens.
Yeah,
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 yeah, and
yeah.
because Felicia Moore was over 40%, and um, Andre Dickens and Kasim Reed were both in the 20 percentile. So,
Hmm.
so it was like, oh, she got this.
Mm-mm.
Mm,
And that's what happens. That's
yeah,
oftentimes what happens. People think that and then they stay home.
mm.
Yeah. And so also things that have changed in the state of Georgia.
Oh, yes, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Stacey Abrams has announced that she's running again for governor
Wow.
of Georgia. That was the announcement that came down today. And so they're really, it's looking like it's going to be a rematch between Stacey Abrams, the shoulda been candidate and governor of Georgia, against the man who cheated his way to the top, Brian Kemp, by removing people from the rolls and keeping people from voting. So Brian Kemp is the current governor of Georgia, and he has already made his statement saying, all the woke people, we're all you people thought that, things were supposed to be this way and they aren't. We gonna keep it this way. We gonna
Listen.
wallop on her again. And so
Now you're not gonna talk about Brian like that.
Wow. Wow.
That was weird.
So Brian Kemp, he's got some competition, and so it's not looking like Stacey has competition in terms of getting the Democratic nomination. So it'll be interesting. She's gonna do a little bit of campaigning and some fundraising through this month, and now at the first of the year, she'll really start hot and heavy in running for the nomination, Democratic nomination. And of course, she's done so much for so many others. She's going to have some high profile people coming in and campaigning for her as they go through this time.
And she lost with less than, I think it was less than two percentage points.
Yeah.
So once again, every vote counts. I think she stands a really good chance, a really good chance.
And the work that she did, to get people to register and to vote, should pay off for her. So
yes,
let us hope. Absolutely, Stephen Hill. Thank you for that.
And I think there's going to be a lot of national money pouring into this campaign. A lot of national money pouring into this particular campaign as well.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you.
Because the governor's race is in 2022, that means that person will be governor in 24, and Georgia is still a swing state.
Oh, God.
Wow. Like somebody stepped on a little mouse.
Thanks.
Would you like some pepper?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about what's really going on. And this is our question of the day. And this was brought about by the current situation at CNN. CNN has suspended Chris Cuomo indefinitely for helping out his big brother, Andrew. He'll be off the air for the foreseeable future. The CNN airwaves, all over his efforts to protect his brother. And will Chris survive this at CNN? They announced they're benching him over the newly released evidence put out by the New York Attorney General's office, that is also a candidate for governor in New York, Letitia James, and shows texts that Chris sent to people on Andrew Cuomo's team in the middle of his sexual harassment scandal. And they saw new transcripts, exhibits that were dumped on Monday, shed new light on his involvement in his brother's defense. So my question for you, all of you who are listening and watching and have opinions on this, and I hope that we all do, who would you go to the mat for? And is there a cause or an issue that you would use your position to help? If it's your brother, if it's your significant other, or is there an issue? I'm curious about that, because of, people always talk about your ride or die, but is there an issue that would also get you, just really moving in terms of social justice, or in terms of enhancing people's lives? Is there something, or educating young people, Steve? Is there an issue, or for you, or if other people, or is there a person that you would be that ride or die and that you would go to the mat for?
For me,
I'll start with Myra, because I don't.
Okay,
I don't know.
I thought you said my name last. That's why.
No, I was saying you.
Yeah.
I was saying you in terms of what your issue would be. Perhaps
I would definitely do it for my son, but as far as issues, I may have mentioned back in the day when I was a counselor, and I use the term loosely, a counselor. For one of these schools, you sign up to, you could be a welder in 6 months, or blah blah blah. They're usually shown at 2:00 in the morning. But anyway, I was desperate, had signed up as a counselor for this school, and as it turned out, this woman, it was a scam. She was a shyster. Her motto was, no one fails the entrance test for my school. No one. And the test was like, and how much is 22 plus 17? Well, if they said 9, you would know you meant to say, yeah, because she was getting funding from the government. So when I found out how this was going, someone may have known someone who worked in the news and may have contacted this person to ask them if they were looking for a news story, and may have mentioned that this school may be doing some underdealings. And her father-in-law at that time was the DA of Los Angeles.
Whoa.
Yeah. And a year later, someone had a huge investigation, and she owned 6 schools, and someone may have been brought forth and had to shut their schools down. Yeah. that may have happened because most of the people attending that school were black and brown people, and I did not appreciate that. But so I heard allegedly, so forth and so on. It may have
Look
happened.
at you being all proactive and yet under cover about it all.
Yeah. But you ain't heard it from me. But you ain't heard it from me.
You didn't hear that from me. So I read supposedly, allegedly, that's how it went down. Yeah.
Stephen Hill, what about you? Well, you are so passionate about your family and friends. I can only imagine we might even just have to tamp down on the list.
Yeah. You have that right. Any look, brother, nephews, Jaden, mom, my fiance, who I will be doing that for in a matter of moments when she walks through this door, because my job is to get her ready for her show tonight, and so I apologize. I'll be bowing out early, but yeah, I because when I love hard, and I don't love many, but I love truly hard. And Chris, I mean, the Chris Cuomo thing is like he just tried to have his cake and eat it too, right? So he did what I would have done for my brother, but when you get caught, you got to go like, yeah, it's all good when it goes well, right? When his brother was like the king of the mountain and like, oh, he's Mr. COVID, run for president, like it was all good. But then the moment it went bad, he did what he should have done, which is protect his brother. But you don't get to keep your job
while you're in the
CNN
process.
resources doing that, right? I would have used every resource I could have to help my brother too, but then fire my ass, and that's the way it goes.
And that's not to take away from how much people love Chris Cuomo, because of the stories that he's done, of the stances that he's taken on that, whether it's social justice, government, the fight against COVID, and watching his struggle against COVID, and all of that stuff, or how much he loves his brother and his family. But the bottom, I'm with you. I agree that still the price must be paid, no matter how much you like him and what he does. What he did was not kosher, and so I agree with you on that, Steve. What about you, young Kwyn?
Yeah, when I was asked after the 2020 protests and riots, like, would I be willing to die for the revolution? I sort of took on or adopted like the mentality of Fred Hampton. Originally was like, I'm fighting for the people, recognizing that the names that we have learned to, have stained on our tongue, on the back of our throats, like the obituaries that we already have prepared, just knowing that we could either die due to the hands of a white person or a black person or just by a stray bullet in any day. I just have this sense of radical compassion, knowing that I'm dying for a cause that's worth dying for, and really like for my future. It's just a matter of integrity. But I have had multiple conversations. My mom did say she won't bail me out, so I understand that. Like if I go to jail, but I would go to jail for her, and I would definitely go to jail for my siblings. And my girlfriend, I already know what it is. She is in a relationship with a radical, militant feminist. So if something were to go down at Western, y'all would see my face plastered everywhere, and it would just have to, be that.
Well, I think your passion is great, and I think it's very funny. Your mom said she wouldn't bail you out.
Oh yeah, that's the first thing she said when I organized the first protest in undergrad. This is after John Crawford, because John Crawford was murdered at the Beaver Creek Walmart, literally like 10 minutes away from my university. I was like, man, mom, I'm so upset. She said, yeah, okay, I ain't bailing you out. I'm not bailing you out. If you're gonna do this protest, I'm not bailing you out. And I said, okay, but you understand. We were there, we were locking it down. I was doing sit-ins, I was doing all this stuff. And she always say, okay, I'm proud of you, but what about this degree? And now, she's saying like, okay, I'm proud of you. What's next? Okay, I'm proud of you. What next? Are you gonna go downtown? Are you gonna go to that riot? Are you going to that action? And so now, like, I've just accepted that because I am a disruptor and an agitator, that jail or like some type of carceral punishment is always going to be an option or some type of conclusion. I'm not scared of that. I'm much more fearful of me obtaining some type of complacency and just some type of settling with the fact that like, okay, nothing can be done. And I like knowing at the end of the day, when I end up having children on this earth, that I've done everything that I can, even if I end up getting like a rap sheet. The best people had a rap sheet. You know what I'm saying? We got 50 Cent. We got Sasha Kaur. You know what I'm saying? John Lewis. You know what I'm saying? So
All right, I do have an issue that you put John Lewis and 50 Cent in the same kind of sentence. I'm gonna live with that though. I'm gonna let that happen. I have a little challenge with that. I think their
Curtis
offenses were a
Jackson.
little different.
Not offensive. John Lewis know what I meant. You know what I meant.
I'm not sure that he would agree. And I can't speak for. I can't.
John Lewis in the club, bottle of bub. John Lewis in the club.
I think Karen Allen on YouTube says, I will go to the mat for my mother. I don't know many people who wouldn't do that. Well, okay, maybe I know a couple of people, but I agree with you. I would, go to the mat for, and in my case, I'd go to the mat for the mothers of my friends because, she gone. So, but I agree. I think that there are a lot of folks that, there's just that one person, but that they, you got them and they got you. And so, Steve, what about an issue? Is there an issue that, I know about your family and friends, including your fiance who's about to come kick you out?
Yeah, she's about to come kick me out. That's a great question. I'm not sure there's an issue. So I don't want to give you a quick answer. I'm going to give you an honest one. I'm not sure there is a cause now that I can think of that I would die for or go to jail for.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was when I was, and I smiled when you talked about it, Kwyn, because when I was your age, I would have, and it was, for me, it was divesting in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the thing that I was in lines for, and I never got to jail for that. But I think me at 60 is a little different. Like I'm not sure what the cause is, or if there's a cause that would have me go to jail for it at this point in time. Because as we've talked about before, I don't really have a jail body. So,
you say I don't have a jail body.
I don't have a jail body, so
me?
probably not a good idea.
You'll know.
Dante's got a man in jail. Wait, what?
No, that doesn't. No, no. That just don't flow.
No, at all. Not at all for money reasons.
I thought about this, and I thought about the cause part of it because I think about my friends who have been arrested in D.C. and over the Voting Rights Acts. The John Lewis Voting Right Back for the People, all of that. And, they're going in day after day after day. Doctors, lawyers, Reverend Jesse Jackson, 80-something years old, and is getting arrested for this cause that he believes in. And he really does get arrested. I mean, it's not like, okay, we're just going to put these on and, we'll take you around the corner and let you go. They take him to prison, to jail. He's processed. And sometimes it's not that easy just to say, okay, here's the money, and they take their time. Mm-hmm. And so I think that there are issues like that. And I think unlike our friend Tom Joyner, Myra, I would not have gone just for the sandwiches. Dora Levette Tiggs on Facebook says, my dog, that's all I got. Oh, Dora, that is so sweet. And as a woman who's looking for a dog, I think that's commendable. I'm on the prowl, y'all, for a dog. 9 pounds, 21.5 inches. I will go to jail. Ask my ex-husband. He was about to make me a cash case. Gabby, come back. Is that Gabby? Is that Toy? Yeah. Happy birthday. I've been looking for you. Happy birthday. She is an old supporter of the Tom Joyner Morning Show, an old listener. And Troy's girl. Yeah.
Is she serious?
And she looks good in orange. She like
She's a tough one. She's an HBCU person and all of that. I promise you, every time her birthday comes around, I look for her on social media and she disappears. She changes or she gets kicked out of Twitter or something. So that's the kind of woman she is. So I've been looking for her. So congratulations. Happy birthday to you. All right. So thanks for playing my little game. And Chris Cuomo, good luck to you. But I think it'll be easier for you than it would be if it was Don Lemon getting kicked off the air. I'm just saying. So
100%.
Definitely. And we do love the Don Lemon. All right. So let us move to the What You Need to Know newsletter. Stephen Hill, I understand that time is getting close to you. So if you can just stay with us.
I'm
As
here.
Oh,
I'm here to
look at
stretch
you.
it out.
Look at this. Look, she's sitting outside going, if this man don't get off the air.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our daily Monday through Friday newsletter, and it is an opportunity for us to tell stories about our people, to curate news stories about our people, and to give you sometimes a look at things that mainstream media does not. And that is especially true in our social justice stories. And Kwyn Townsend Riley has a story about a black man eligible for parole, but he's still in prison. Go ahead, Master. Tell us what's going on.
Come on, Massa. Come on, Massa.
Okay.
Please, Massa, please.
Trigger. So this is about a Black Panther Party alumni member, Sundiata Acoli, who is 84, who was convicted in 1973 for the death of the New Jersey State Trooper Werner Forrester. This name may sound familiar for some of you, as this was the case that also Assad Shakur was involved in. On the night of the shooting, Acoli had been traveling on the New Jersey Turnpike with two others when they were pulled over for a defective taillight. A shootout ensued, leaving both Forrester and one of Acoli's companions, Zay Shakur, dead. The third person in the car was Joanne Chesmard, which we all know as Assad Shakur, who was wounded. The details about the shooting have been debated for years. Police are saying that Shakur saw it first. According to a 1977 account in the New York Times, Shakur said at trial that she was shot first with her arms raised in surrender. Acoli has maintained that he was shot, lost consciousness, and does not remember what happened that night, according to Washington Post. Both he and Shakur were sentenced to life in prison, though Shakur famously escaped and later resurfaced in Cuba. So he has been seeking parole for almost 30 years.
So tell this part of it, because this is crazy, because the people that are sentenced for this normally are allowed to request parole after 25 years, is it?
Yes.
You said?
It said that he has been eligible for parole since 1993. He was almost released once, but his parole was overturned in 2016. He decided to appeal that decision earlier this year. And so activists currently are arguing that his release is long overdue. His supporters have filed new arguments with the New Jersey Supreme Court on Monday, arguing that he be granted parole and citing his record of good behavior, positive contributions to his communities behind bars. Supporters have also said that Acoli has dementia and that his health issues have been worsened after a bout with COVID-19 last year. And so, yeah, there's a whole coalition of folks trying to get behind this movement. There's a petition. People can donate to his website that talks about bring Acoli Sundiata home. And I didn't even know within New Jersey, apparently, I was trying to find it, where it talks about how you're eligible for parole after X amount of years. Because I think it is 50, like you said. But he was originally sentenced to life.
Right. But with the possibility of parole after so many years, and yet, I guess they have denied him every time. They said he is not contrite.
Yes, he's been eligible for parole for almost 3 decades now, and he's 84.
He's suffering from dementia. He's got other health challenges. What do they think he's going to do? Run out there and kill somebody else?
This is where the law confuses me, because who does it protect? Who does it serve? We don't know. This is the part that I don't know. This is why I don't pay attention to a lot of this boo-boo. It doesn't make sense.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah. All right. So for folks who do want to get on our subscription list, please go to SybilWilkes.com and sign up for the Monday through Friday newsletter. We are, it's absolutely free, and we would love to have you. And he's like, okay, now, just a minute.
Somebody opens the doors, making sure the heat stayed in. Sorry, never mind.
Oh, the heat. Oh, okay. Oh, that's so cute. He's got the temperature cranked up for her
and
voice.
I hate. Never mind. It's a longer story. Because I hate the heat. I have a jacket. I'm like, no, it's just about to come off, but nobody wants to see
that. So the number one story in our newsletter today is talking about the Supreme Court and the state of Mississippi going before the Supreme Court in order to have the law continue in the state of Mississippi, denying abortions to women after 15 weeks. Um, it's and the nerd that I am, yes, I did stay up all morning watching watching the television, which only had voices of the justices as they were asking questions. And that's it still just fascinates me to hear Clarence Thomas say anything. And I got to give a shout out to J. Anthony Brown, because he's like, what does that have to say anything for? What does he know? What is he saying? It's like, well, he's got a right to say it. He hadn't said anything for 20 years, and so now he's found his voice after his mentor passed away. So did anybody hear this? Because this is here's my issue with Mississippi and other states like this. Mississippi ranks last, or pretty close to last, in health, education, and welfare of their citizens. And yet, these white men have decided that people who do not look like them, who are affected by childbearing as well as caring for a child, they want to make decisions for them and put these children in a system that will just destroy them because they don't give a damn. Because they do rank last in providing all these services. And yet you're telling people what to do with their bodies. And like I said, it's all white men who are making these decisions, with the exception of, a couple of, little
White women.
flakes, who have been elected to office. But it just destroys me that they still continue to make the decisions, as well as the 6 men on the Supreme Court that are going to be making this decision, led by people who don't have a clue.
Yep. Pretty
They
much.
have a clue, just not about the things we want them to. Right? to your point, few of them have ever gone through childbirth, it's really about religion, beliefs, and how much you believe you should have control over someone else's body. Full stop. Like this is a society that's grown up on believing that in some way, shape, or form you should have a control over someone's body. It was slavery. It's
Patriarchy,
right?
Misogyny,
sexism.
It
is the belief. It is the belief that is the deep ingrained belief that goes beyond just abortion. That like I should be able to tell you what you should do, given what I believe. There have been religious wars around this world, most of them done by people of Caucasoid persuasions, right? Just over what I believe. It's not about how different you look. It's not how differently you eat. It's not how differently you go to the bathroom. It's like, I believe this and you should die because you don't. This is a long history that's not about to get unrung. Abortion is just a small chapter in it.
But does it not amaze you that they live in such such a small bubble? Yeah, thank you, Myra. That the Chief Justice says 15 weeks. 15 weeks. That doesn't sound like it's not enough time. Mr. Justice, until you are able to stand in the shoes or in the bathroom of a woman who is just getting her pregnancy test at 16 weeks, or a woman who's been raped by a member of her own family and doesn't know what to do, until you stand in her shoes, you really can't. This is the same man who in 2013, when they gutted the civil rights law and voting rights law and said, I just don't think that Black people are having that difficult of a time being able to vote in this year of 2013, year of our Lord.
Well, don't get me started on, to me, the whole white evangelical Christian philosophy thing, whereby they just want to roll back time and let's make this the year 1312 and all would be well with the world. Move on, because I'm about to curse real bad.
It takes a hard. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing for us to do, and it's definitely
Yeah.
a hard thing to white folks to see. You have to work and be active about seeing things outside of your own perspective.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't do that, you will never be able to see that. Right. To your point about the Chief Justice, like, well, that seems like enough because he thinks it's enough.
Mm-hmm.
To him in the world, it is enough. Right. I have decreed it's enough. It is enough. The desire or the intention of seeing outside of his own purview or his own perspective, it's an active thing that we all have to do. And folks who lead have to do it far less than everybody else. And that's the challenge. That is a challenge, not the challenge, a challenge.
It is a challenge. And I dare say that even in 1973, those people who were even more secluded from the real world had a better sense of the law and what should be for women in 1973 in Roe versus Wade than they do in 2021. And it's very sad. It's very sad. And the fact that politics plays such a big part in this, and they are supposed to be apolitical, but that we know that that's not the case.
Well, they'll
Burn it all down.
They're gonna sit around and play pick a sin.
I played that, but it's usually a drinking game for us.
Pick a sin. I'm saying this is a sin. Never mind the fact that we got these guns and you can just go shoot willy-nilly, because that's not a sin. But hot damn, don't let her turn up. You know they're pregnant.
That's right. You got it. Or son, don't let you turn. Never mind. So one of the other stories I do want to talk about in this newsletter is the legacy of the political trailblazer Carrie Meek. She was a wonderful woman who was a congresswoman from the state of Miami. She passed away over the weekend at the age of 95, and just a powerhouse. Just a real spitfire, and a very petite woman with a big voice and even greater strength and power in her actions. And so I just want to just commend her on a life well lived, and the people of this country are the luckier for having had her in the state politics as well as the United States Congress for so many years. And we send our condolences to her family, Greg, her son, who succeeded her in Congress. And now they're represented by the fabulous Federica Wilson, the woman who's known for her cowboy hats from Miami. So. And one last thing I do want to talk about is the fact that coronavirus, the update with the Omicron virus has been discovered in California.
You
knew it was going to happen.
It was just a question of which state was it going to be, right? Was it going to be California? Was it going to be New York? Was it going to be in Chicago at O'Hare? Somebody came in through Atlanta, one of those places, San Francisco or whatever. But it is California. And this person apparently came in from South Africa, and as for the reason why they closed off a lot of the travel to the Southern African nations. So have you heard anything more about because what I'm trying to figure out is, the discussion is this is a bigger variant. It, mutates faster, but I'm not getting a sense that it is as difficult to treat, or it has a greater impact as the Delta variant did.
They don't know yet. They don't know. It feels like it feels like the bionic variant to me, though.
Does it really to you? So
why? It feels like it's how viruses work. Viruses are like, somehow viruses know, okay, they're trying to get me this way, I'm going in left. Okay, they get it right, I'm going to. So viruses, this is what viruses happen when they mutate. They try to prevent against being killed, like we all do, and so they just do it better than we do. They're able to build their protector, their differences within 6 months or so, while we got to wait. We got to 10,000 years before we can lose this big toe of ours, this little toe of ours, right?
Yeah.
The evolution is much slower with us.
People really do need to understand that this is a pandemic, which means people all around the world are affected by the virus. Therefore, when they talk about, well, I'm not getting the shot, or I don't believe in the blah blah blah, we're never going to get a hold of it until this thing is conquered around the world. It's not just here in the United States. And I had the displeasure of watching Fox News last night because every now and then I just like to peek over there just to see. You know how sometimes you have some really ignorant neighbors and you just peek over the fence going, what the hell are they doing over there now?
Right.
That's what I was doing. And a gentleman, Ucker Townsend, he actually said yes. And he didn't even he called it he had a whole new pronunciation. Omnicran, the Omnicran has taken over and it is destroying the country of Africa. That's when I turned. I just went, oh my
Okay.
God.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought that was going to be a part of our entertainment segment. Stephen Hill,
Yes.
we will let you go, and thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us, and
Have a great one.
have a great show.
Have a great show. Let's have a great show, baby.
Hey,
Have a
Shantae,
great show.
don't act like you don't hear me.
Thank you.
Hey,
Brian, it's yours this time.
We
Yeah,
love
you
it.
listen, yeah,
And we
you
loved
do it.
seeing you last night. That was absolutely wonderful.
hello.
All right, bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. All right, so let's look at entertainment a little bit. I'm a big fan of Kenan Thompson, and here's a man who has worked very hard as one of the mainstays of Saturday Night Live for many years. He's been there for more years than I think anybody, but at least he has, he's getting it. This is his time. He's getting his props for what he does on Saturday Night Live. I don't know. Let me ask Kwyn. Kwyn, do you know Saturday Night Live? Do you know about the
Yes, I
show that
know
has
about
come on?
Saturday Night Live. Yes.
It's been on for like 40 plus years, and
Yes,
okay.
yes.
All right, just checking. So Kenan Thompson, did you watch him growing up on Nickelodeon?
Kenan and Kel and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah.
Okay. So he's grown up, and now he's on Saturday Night Live. He also has a primetime TV show, and it's called The Kenan Show, Kenan. And now he has just gotten a check for $1 million to tell his story, his memoirs. They said that he took 2 book concepts in the works, and he sold a humorous memoir for $1 million.
I hope that's just a down payment. I'm very serious. I hope that's just a down payment because to me, where he is in his life, he should be getting more. He really should.
Yeah. And at least as much as Chris Christie did, because Chris Christie, the former governor of New York, went out on this incredible book tour, got all this money for this book, and as a prelude to what he was hoping to be his run for the Republican nomination for president, it turns out that Chris Christie only sold a little over 2,000 books.
And that was to 1,900 family members, probably.
Yeah, probably. So I do hope that just in comparison to books like that, and to if you all have not read it yet, the 1619 book is #1 on the New York Times bestseller list, Nicole Hannah Jones, and it is absolutely incredible, and that's who we need to support, people like that, and as well as Kenan when his humorous memoir comes out. Hopefully that he will be able to make, as Myra says, at least $1 million. That should just be the down payment.
Yeah. I actually saw him about 10 years ago downtown Chicago. I'm walking down Michigan Avenue, and as I'm crossing the street, I see him, and he stops. He sits on the fire hydrant, and he's lighting up a cigarette. And I literally lost it for one quick second. I went, "What that child doing lighting up a cigarette?" I went, "Man, this is a grown ass man." I just turned and walked the other way, but in my mind, he was still a little kid from Kenan and Kel, and I was like, "I know he's not getting ready to just light up a cigarette like that."
Just like another Negro from the South Side of Chicago. Just
chilling, sitting on the fire hydrant, like, "What up, Chi-Town?"
Yeah, here I am. How regular do you want me to be?
Is he from New York? Do you know?
I want to say he is, but I'm really not sure. I thought he was from the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not. But you can Google it.
Shoot.
And the last thing I do want to talk about is Mariah Carey and her 12 Days of Christmas. If you have the McDonald's app starting on the 13th of December, you can get a Mariah menu meal. And if you buy something at least worth $1, you'll get whatever that day is on the menu, you'll get it for free. So, like, one day it'll be the Mariah favorite burger, which is cheeseburger with extra pickles, by the way. And why do I know that? I saved this story for Stephen Hill because he is such a big Mariah Carey
Oh,
fan.
okay.
And the Big Mac and things like that. So you buy, and it has to be on the app. Mima and Papa, you gotta make your item selections on the app. All right.
Okay.
All right, ladies.
People are saying he's from Atlanta, and I guess
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Z. Thank you. Z.
A lot of folks great talents coming out of the ATL by way of Chicago. And let's not forget, California, and then
Yeah.
ATL. All right, so ladies, I'm going to close out today with the Yogi's Jewel. And a reminder, work hard to make a positive contribution to the universe. So inhale hard work. Exhale slothfulness.
No, I'm gonna need another word.
What?
Yogi, I'm gonna need for my viewers to be a little more basic. I'm all inhaled here. And what am I exhaling again?
Slothfulness.
Okay.
All
right.
Laziness.
Slothfulness. Being a slug. Don't be lazy.
I know she's gonna be mad because I was mulling around. I'm sorry.
Yeah. She really hates the mulling around. Yeah. So, all right, ladies. Thank you so much, Master. Thank you.
Yes.
Come May 2022. Okay. Yes.
Okay. How great it would be May 22nd, 2022.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Pretty.
Hopefully it'll be sooner. It'll probably be around Mother's Day. So that would
Yeah.
be a great
May
gift
3rd.
for your
I think
mom.
it's on May 16th.
See,
Yeah.
there you go. All right, Myra. I will see you, young Kwyn. Thank you so much. Everybody have a good one. Thanks for watching and listening.
December.
Aloha.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.